All right, everybody, gentlemen, I tell you what, we're going to get through this as quickly as possible. But the number one thing for you to do is stay in your seat. I do understand that it's medical call right now, and that's fine. You can go out and get your meds. Don't keep going out and stand out there and talk to people, pulling on your clothes, tugging on your clothes, and walking out and hanging out. That's not what we're going to do, okay? Stay in your seat. Keep your head up. Don't put your head down. Don't lean over on there. Don't put your head like this. Don't pick at your nose. Don't pick at your hair. Don't twist your hair. Don't mash your zits. The camera is not a mirror. All right? We will get everybody in and out at the same time. Everybody here is muted. I can't hear you. Okay? 1 North, booth 3. You doing the first thing I said don't do. 5 North, booth 4. It's not a mirror. Don't fix your hair. Everybody, y'all look great. All right, gentlemen? We're just trying to get you out of here. So, and look at 7 North, booth 3, getting up and leaving. All right, so stay in your seats. We'll call you. We'll get you out of here as quickly as possible, okay? Today, this is what I like to call a you problem, gentlemen. We're addressing bond and bond only, okay? The reason you're on mute and you don't get to say anything is because there's nothing for you to say. It's a lot like first appearance. If you remember that, you're told what you're charged with. I address bond. Everybody on the calendar tonight is statutorily entitled to a bond. I'm going to hear from preacher off first, hear about your criminal histories. Then I'll hear from your public defender. Then I'll hear from the state. Then I'll make a decision. Everybody in here, you've got to give your attorney an address. Once again, back to the you problem. This is a you problem. If you don't abide by my bond conditions, you will be the one that gets arrested and goes to jail. Not your mama, not your girlfriend, not your fiance, not your baby mama, not your sister, not your grandma. It's your responsibility to get the notifications when they're sent to you. All right. Your public defender is going to mail you a copy of your bond condition and your bond order. Once they finish up today, it could pass you. It could show up in the mail and you're already made bond, hopefully. Okay. When you get out, ladies, you too, you need to call your public defender. 7 North, booth 3. You better sit down and keep your seat. Don't leave again, sir. All right. So make sure that you call your public defender and say, I need a copy of my bond order because I don't know what the conditions are. It may be stay away. It may be stay out. I may put an ankle monitor on you or something. I may give you things you need to do. You need to make sure that you do it. Once again, do not get up and walk out of that booth. If you do, your case will be reset and you will sit there for another 30 days or whenever we can get you back on the calendar. So pay attention. All right. Don't wave at people. Once again, new people, don't twist your hair, pick at your zits, do anything like that. Okay. So when you get out, make sure you do that. Also, 7 North, keep your head up. Don't put your heads down. All right. When I talk to you and I call your name, wave your hand so I can see where you're at. Once again, you're on mute. If I ask you a question, it requires a yes or a no, a thumbs up or a thumbs down. That's it. No matter how loud you talk, how much you scream at the camera, you're muted. I can't hear you. If they do come by and give you your meds, open the door, get them, and come back inside. Okay? Because if I call your name and you've stepped out, just move on to the next case. Now, also, if I call someone's name and you're like, hey, that guy's behind me, he's coming in next. Don't worry about it. We'll skip over it. We'll go to you. Okay? Gentlemen, we're going to start with the ladies first, done at ACDC, and then we'll get to you folks. Everybody good? Everybody hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Gentlemen. Gentlemen, you hear me? Thumbs up. Yep, 7 North can't hear. Miss appreciate
Judge, I'm gonna try to open up another booth on 7 North.
Okay. Look. 7. Go to another one. Go out, go to another one. All right, gentlemen just came in, keep your seat. No head down, no mashing zits, no doing anything like that, right? Don't leave. 7 North's gonna get in a new booth. All right, Maisha Brown. Is that who I got first? Oh, no, I got the other one. I get the other one. Yeah, sorry, I apologize. I don't know people, so I'm just calling the name. All right, let's see. I got.
Your Honor, I think I'm covering Maisha Brown for Latrivia, and I'm just waiting for the paperwork.
Okay. All right. We'll start with position 10. We got Bostic, we got Miss Young, and we got Madam Court Reporter. We'll start with position 10, Maya Campbell. And I've already started my email to Miss Willis, so don't worry about it because this one's at the top of my list.
Okay, thank you.
21 CP 2011330, Maya Campbell. 657 days without indictment, charged with aggravated assault. As of December the 1st, there is a $5,000 good bond. Pre-trial.
Judge, in regards, hold on, go back to my page. Sorry. 17 prior arrests, 5 misdemeanor, 1 arrest for probation violation, nothing further.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Safarasi.
Thank you, Your Honor. Like you said, Ms. Campbell has been in 657 days. That's without an indictment. We had a preliminary hearing back in March of 2022. The probable cause was found. Your Honor, she can't afford the current bond to set, so we really need to get it reduced. We are asking for UJR just on the sheer fact of the time that the state has had to move forward with this case and has decided not to. So we're asking for a UJR in this case. A little bit about Ms. Campbell is she is 46 years old. We have multiple addresses for her, but we have a solid address for her here in Atlanta. She spent her last 8 years in Atlanta. She has her godparents and family here. The entire family of her godparents are here. She is a high school grad. She has had some college at Spelman University, where she studied fine arts and English. Prior to her incarceration, Your Honor, she was an actress. I'm not sure if you are aware, but she was in a show called In the House. That was with LL Cool J. She was also in some other shows and some music videos. And Your Honor, because of the time that she has been incarcerated today, we are asking for the UJR. If Your Honor is not open to a UJR, then we're asking for a bond not to exceed $1,000.
Do you know where she's going to live?
Yes, Your Honor, in Atlanta, but I would like to not do
No,
this.
okay.
Recorded.
It will
I don't
be-
wanna-
It'll be in Fulton.
I'll change the address, Your Honor. It is in Atlanta, though. So Fulton.
Okay. All right, Miss Patton.
Hi, Your Honor. I'm apologizing ahead of time. My dog is screaming in the background right now.
That's
so if you
okay.
hear it, my bad. We have been 657 days without indictment. The concern here is that the defendant is a danger to community.
Hold on. 3 South, sit down. Booth 3 South, sit down. I don't want to see your rear end. Don't be pulling your pants up and down. Keep your seat. Gentlemen, I'm sorry, Miss Patton. Go ahead. I don't want to look at your nasty underwear. Go ahead, Miss Patton.
No problem. We're concerned about a possible danger to the community based upon her prior arrest. Also, worried about risk to the community based upon the nature of the crime itself. It seemed to be kind of random. I don't know that Ms. Campbell had a connection to him, so that is concerning that that type of action would be taken to someone she doesn't know. If Your Honor is inclined to reduce the bond, we ask that you keep the conditions put in place. I believe it's a stay away, and we would just ask that you do those. Nothing further.
All right,
And Your
yeah, we
Honor,
got
just to-
657 days. Miss Pinto or Miss Beck would be saying it like 40 times before either one of them carried on to anything. So,
Your Honor,
yes,
before
ma'am.
we make room, I just want to have on the record, we are looking into filing a speedy trial demand in this case because it has been so long. So we do want to put the state on notice of that today. And again, if she is such a danger to the community, I do not understand why she hasn't been indicted, as well as the fact she hasn't had any jail incidences, by the way. There's been no violent incidences to my understanding. She's had no issues at the jail to support the fact that she's still a danger. This case, again, it's an allegation. It is not a conviction. And so because of that, Your Honor, we just want to take that into account that this is not a conviction. She has no felony convictions as well, or no violent convictions to my understanding. So just want that for the record, Your Honor.
okay. So we got no drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no further contact with Marvin Scott. Let's see. You're gonna have an ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, medical, and employment, as long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment schedule, and the exact location you're going to be working. You can also leave for any kind of mental health treatment or addiction treatment. Looks like some of the previous arrests and stuff were for drugs. Stay away from the intersection of Parsons Street and Joseph E. Lowry. And before I enter in a mental health treatment facility, get a mental health evaluation and follow the recommendations. And make sure you put in that change of address before you leave the jail. That ankle monitor will be paid for by the county. I've already put your name in there, ma'am. $2,000 good bond. And Miss Safarasi, if for some reason she can't make that, email myself and Miss Patton, because this was at the top of my list. I've actually made the print in red.
Yes, Your Honor, I don't believe she can make that, to be honest with you. So
All right.
I will be emailing you. And it's-
Okay, so if we have to, we'll just put this one back on another 30 days until I get something, but it's in red, I made it red print right there to Miss Willis. Miss Campbell, we'll see you in 30 days if you're not out. Best of luck to you. Maisha Brown.
Judge, before you go on to him, can you make sure that 7 North Booth 3, he can 7 North Booth 1, he can now hear?
7 North, can you hear now? Give me a thumbs up. 7 North. Thank you, sir. All right, so we got Maisha Brown, 23CP 215530, 101 days without indictment. There is a $1,000 split bond, and there's $1,000 on the possession of drug-related objects. As of January the 18th, possession of cocaine with intent to distribute, receipt, possession, or transport of a firearm by a convicted felon or first offender, possession of a firearm during the commission of or attempt to commit certain felonies, manufacture, deliver, distribute, or possess with intent to distribute MDMA. VGCSA, possession of Schedule 1 or 2 controlled substance with intent to distribute, theft by receiving stolen property, possession of drug-related objects, VGCSA, possession of Schedule 3, 4, or 5 controlled substance, possession of marijuana, manufacture, distribution, or sale of marijuana, 15.5 grams of MDMA, 18.8 grams. Let's see, what is this? Hold on. 2 bottles of promethazine, 10.5 grams of weed, 8.5 grams of crack, and 18.8 grams of Adderall, all alleged. Trial.
18 prior arrests, 2 misdemeanors, FTAs 2017 and 18. 2019 by shoplifting felony, nothing further.
All right. Go ahead, Ms. Bray. Ms. Bray. Ms. Bray. Woo-hoo. May have to say it one more time. Ms. Bray might have stepped away to get the paperwork. What about Jamaica Hickson? Ms. Hickson, we'll come back to Ms. Bray's client. Just stand
Your
by.
Honor, I'm so sorry.
No,
I thought
okay.
I was off mute. I thought I was talking. Y'all didn't
Oh.
hear me.
I now said you probably said some very wise things. Try it again though, Ms. Bray.
Okay, let's try it again. So, she's 26 years old. She has 3 children. During the time she's been incarcerated, they have been living with her stepmother. Okay, she is currently enrolled in UEI, which is the Morrow campus, working towards her GED in a trade. Prior to her arrest, she was working for a labor staffing temporary agency. She is a lifelong Georgia resident. We have a valid address for her, which is 3266 Wellington Walk, Southwest, Atlanta, Georgia, 30331. She would be living there with her cousin. We got that information through her mom because we've been in contact with her mom. The amount of bond that she currently has, Your Honor, she cannot afford. So I think it's 39,000. My math isn't the greatest, but that's
But
what
right
I
now
came
it's
up with.
right now, like I got a $1,000 split. Like no bond on everything else.
Okay, this might have been a suggestion then from
Okay, we'll take
the
suggestions.
trivia.
All right. Yeah,
So,
I think so.
I am asking for a UJR, of course, but I understand, the amount of whatever the drugs are, you cannot do that. But I am asking for a UJR with an ankle monitor and a curfew. And I'm asking that the exceptions for the curfew be school, work, childcare, court appearance, attorney visit, medical stuff, like the standard. That's what
Sure.
I'm asking for.
Okay. All right, Ms. Patton.
Quickly, Your Honor, Ms. Bray, did you get the 39,000 as a suggestion from another ADA?
Honey, I didn't really look at this as hard as I should have looked at it, but
That's fine. I just wanted to honor if a previous ADA had told you that, I was going to honor that agreement, but
yeah, so I don't have information that says a previous judge or person offered that. What I do have is that according to Judge Brasher's order, this is like the least it could be. That's my understanding of the information that I have. But I don't want it because it does not help me.
All right, go ahead.
Understood. Your Honor, on this case, the state has various recommendations. Obviously, one of them is not a UJR. Considering the defendant's prior history and her 2 FTAs, we're worried about her being a danger, a likelihood of reoffending and a likelihood of fleeing, being that she's had 2 FTAs. Would you like me just to go down charge by charge and do our recommendations?
Sure, that's fine. 3 South. Booth 3, that's in the mirror. Stop playing with your hair. Go ahead.
For the possession of cocaine with intent to distribute, that would be a $10,000 good bond. For receipt, possession, or transport of firearm by convicted felon, that would be a $15,000 good bond. For possession of a firearm or knife during commission or attempt to commit certain felonies, that again is a $10,000 good bond. For manufacture, deliver, distribute, or possess with intent to distribute, that would be a $5,000 good bond. There's a $1,000 good bond on the possession and use of drug-related objects. That would remain the same. For the VGCSA, a $10,000 good bond. For the theft by receiving stolen property, $500. The subsequent VGSA, $10,000. And purchase, possession, manufacture, distribution, $5,000 good bond. Let me know if you didn't catch that because it was a lot. And I did no math, so I have no idea what the total was.
I'm not either. Ladies and gentlemen, that's why you need to listen. I don't know if you can do the math in your head, but at least try. All right. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. Stay away from 1575 Joseph E. Boone Boulevard Northwest. No further contact with your co-defendant, Clarence Marsh, M-A-R-S-H. You're going to have an ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew. Court, lawyer, medical, job, school.
Child care, can we throw in child care?
Sure. Child care. And I said employment, as long as you provide the name of your employer, proof of employment schedule, and the exact location you're going to be working. Now, what you need to do, ma'am, is if you go somewhere, like you got to take your child to the doctor, heaven forbid, you need to call the ankle monitoring company. Hey, I'm taking my child to this doctor at this address. Okay. I'm giving you a hint that the state gets a printout every month of everywhere you guys go. Ladies, gentlemen, if you get an ankle monitor, so you can't really outsmart the ankle monitor. And then when you cut it off, you're going to be back in front of me. I'm going to be mad. It's just this vicious cycle. Okay. All right. 10,000 count 1, 10,000 count 2, 10,000 count 3, 5,000 count 4, 10,000 count 5, 500 count 6, UJR jail on drug related objects, 10,000 and 5,000. 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, 5,000, 10,000, 500, UJR jail, 10,000 and 5,000. Best of luck to you, sir.
And what's the amount of that bond? I mean, I know it's less, but you know.
You know how they do the math.
Like, I don't do the math either, Your Honor.
I know. 10, 10, 10, 30, 40, 50, 60, 6,500.
Okay.
All right, best of luck to you, ma'am. All right, Mr. Hickson. Thank you, South End. Thank you, ACDC. So it's position 21, 22, CP 209-627. 321 days without indictment. There's $11,000 good bond as of January the 19th. Aggravated assault, obstruction of a law enforcement officer, and giving false info. Pre-trial.
In regards to Mrs. Hickson, extensive criminal history, 42 prior arrests, 12 misdemeanors, 3 felonies, 12 probation violations. The misdemeanors, you got a battery, simple battery, and a battery. Felonies, terroristic threats, robbery, theft by shoplifting. Currently, she's on probation for burglary in Muskogee, sentence 428-21. 5 years, nothing further.
All right. Go ahead, Mr. Young.
Thank you, Your Honor. Judge, we have secured Mr. Hickson a residency at Hope House. He has been interviewed, accepted, and there is a bed waiting for him, Your Honor. I think a review of Mr. Hickson's history as well as the current charges would seem to indicate that Mr. Hickson could use some help, Your Honor, to put it lightly. And we believe that Hope House can provide that help. Judge, Mr. Hickson cannot afford any bond at this point. So we would ask for a UJR specifically to Hope House. Hope House we can arrange the transport to it and everything. And Your Honor, I'd be happy to go on about Mr. Hickson and him as a person, but I think the most important thing right now is getting him into a facility that he might actually be able to get some long-term help at. Your Honor, I can provide the letter from Hope House to the court via email if the court would like to review it. Judge, again, just to reiterate, we are asking that the court recognize the fact that Mr. Hickson has been in custody for almost a year at this point, and we have a very limited opportunity to get him into this facility before the bed is gone. And we're just asking for the court to help us out on this one, I guess, Judge.
All right, what says the state?
Yes, Your Honor, we would object to a UJR in this case. Considering his prior history of 42 arrests, there's a substantial likelihood that he'll reoffend. I also, though, would like to know a little bit more about Hope House. If I could ask Mr. Young that, would that be appropriate at this
Sure,
time?
go ahead. Tell her about Hope House, Mr. Young.
Sure, Your Honor. Judge, Hope House, it's a live-in facility that Mr. Hickson would receive round-the-clock care for. That includes counseling, group, both individual and group. It involves substance abuse treatment where necessary, mental health treatment where necessary, as well as life skills and potentially job placement. Mr. Hickson would stay at the facility. If he were to leave the facility, I presumably any sort of bond order from this court, UJR otherwise, would require Mr. Hickson to stay at the facility. So if he were to leave for any reason, of course, that would be violative of that bond, and we would be back here. And Mr. Hickson fully recognizes and understands that this is one of the last chances that he has to turn things around. Again, I would be happy to send literature to the state if the state would like to learn more, but I do know that this court is very familiar with Hope House and the good that it does for the community.
Is the Bell Project going to help him at all?
Your Honor, I don't believe so. We've been in communication with them recently, and they've been hesitant with a few of the cases that we've sent over.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Patton.
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor. Obviously, it's at the court's discretion, but I do appreciate Mr. Young for going through that detail with me about Hope House.
All right. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. You have an ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, medical, attorney visits, employment, as long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment schedule, in the exact location you're going to be working. Previously, it said stay out of Fulton County. So I'll take that off since you may live at the Hope House.
Thank you, Judge.
Stay away. Let's see. Stay away from 600 Spring Street. No further contact with Anthony Smith. So I got. All right. 4,500, 100 and UJR jail. 4,500, 100 and UJR jail. Best of luck to you, sir. You can leave the booth. Thank you, Mr. Young.
Thank you, Judge. Your Honor, that concludes my business. May I be excused?
Uh-huh.
Thank you, Judge.
Your Honor, this is Amy Cole. There's just a message in the chat that Mr. Little, position 16, was transferred to DOJ custody. That's my only position on this calendar. I was wondering if I could be excused.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Just so I'm clear, she doesn't want that reset for to waive his.
You want to waive his appearance or no?
Your Honor, I'm gonna refile. He has 2 other cases. I'll just refile a bond and have them both heard together.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Your Honor, do you want any language in there for Mr. Hickson about the Hope House on his 24-hour exception?
Right. Yeah, if you don't mind, put some language in there about the Hope House, participate in any programs at the Hope House, etc.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Let's see. What about, all right, so Larry Little's removed. I'll still include that name, Mr. Little, on my email, but all right, Mr. Lomnick, Anthony Lomnick. All right, so we got position 2, 21 CP 204227, Anthony Devon Lomnick. Here's another one. $10,250 good bond as of January the 24th, 540 days without indictment, obstruction of law enforcement over an ag assault. Pre-trial. Anthony
Oh,
Lomnick, position
I
2.
got 15 prior arrests, 7 misdemeanors, 2 arrests for probation violation, possible open case in DeKalb from a February 16, 2020 arrest for entering auto and criminal damage to property. Nothing further.
Go ahead, Ms. Bray.
Your Honor, as you said, 540 days. I want Your Honor to take into account, we did a preliminary hearing on June 27th of last year. Okay? We had a bond hearing before Your Honor on August 4th of 2022. Then we ended up having another bond hearing before Your Honor on January 24th of 23. The bond was reduced to $10,250. We're back, Your Honor. He's been in custody since November 4th of 2021, and nothing has happened on this case. I am asking Your Honor to reduce his bond substantially, preferably to $5,000. Maybe I can get him out through the bail bond project.
You know where he'll
Since
live?
the state has not indicted it since 2021.
You know where he'll live, Ms. Bray?
Well, hold on. Let me find it. I knew you were gonna ask that. 209 Griffin Street, Lawrenceville, Georgia, 30039. That's his grandmother's house.
Is that where you'll live, sir? You gonna live with your grandma? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Okay, thank you, sir. What says the state?
Your Honor, we would object to a reduction in the bond that's been listed. I understand that it was already reduced at one point in time. Also, I believe he's had an incident while he's been incarcerated. The likelihood of reoffending, if he couldn't even stay out of trouble while incarcerated, that causes us some concern. Also, as I've mentioned before in this court, anytime that there's an incident with an officer where they're resisting arrest or doing something to endanger a law enforcement officer, that gives me concern as to whether or not they're going to be able to operate in society if they're not, listening to authority.
Okay, Your Honor, I must speak. Miss Patton, ADA Patton, I don't have a problem with you. But if you have been paying attention to the news and what's happening at Fulton County Jail, then you know plain as well it's overcrowded. People are stabbing each other. They're creating riots. They're doing all kinds of stuff. So you can be an innocent person. And I always think that my clients are innocent people. You're put in a place that you were not trying to go. But when you get there, stuff is happening and you must do whatever the hell you need to do to protect yourself. So the fact that there may have been an infraction or something taking place at the jail should not be used against Mr. Lomnick, who has been in custody since November of 2021, and your office has done nothing.
I think there was some amens from like 4 South Booth 3, 4 North Booth 3.
I'm just saying, Your Honor, if I'm locked up in Fulton County Jail, somebody approaches me, they're trying to attack me, they back me up in a corner. Guess what? My little behind will do whatever I need to do to come out of that corner.
I understand
I
he's
have
on
a right to do that.
That's never
defense.
gonna work as an excuse for me.
And I don't care if it doesn't.
I understand about the 539 days, but as you know, the state has a statute of limitations and we have still time to indict this case. And it sounds like there has been movement in terms of preliminary hearings and probable cause was found. I understand what you're saying and can appreciate it. However, my position is still the same.
ADA Patton, the preliminary hearing was held in June of last year. Your office has done nothing.
Miss Bray. Has there been any contact with the alleged victim? I mean, Miss Patton? He's on the 3rd floor. Was there an ex parte or anything done there?
No, Your Honor.
No need or?
No need, because he plainly knows what happened. We did the prelim. He plainly knows what happened.
All right, so we got No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no further contact with Curtis Smith. You're gonna have a ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, medical, employment, as long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment schedule, and the exact location you're gonna be working. Stay out of Fulton County unless you're here for court or to see your lawyer.
Can
$100.
we get an ETA on when this case may be indicted, since he's been sitting in since November of 2021?
I put it on my email to Ms. Willis. There you go. So I got
Thank you
100
very
on,
much.
100 on count one, 4,900 on count two. Best of luck to you, sir. You can leave the booth. All right. What about Kareem Harris? No Kareem Harris yet. What about Leon Parker? No hands. What about Sean Johnson? All right. So we got position 19, Bostic 22, CP 212621, 216 days without indictment. There's a $44,000 good bond as of December the 19th. Terroristic threats and acts. Terroristic threats and acts, willful obstruction, misdemeanor, simple battery against a peace officer, simple battery against a peace officer, and simple battery. Free trial.
Extensive arrest history, 54 prior arrests. Criminal damage to property, theft by shoplifting, simple battery, simple assault, criminal damage to property in 2020. Repeat offender, at least 6 felonies, aggravated assaults, entering auto, terroristic threats, couple of FTAs, couple of arrests for probation violation, nothing further.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Correa.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're in the back
just to
seat of the
clear-
car, right, Ms. Correa?
I am in the back seat of the car. I'm with
Outstanding.
some of my colleagues.
Oh, okay.
We're on our way to support a different colleague. But in regards to Mr. Johnson, he is 49 years old and a lifelong resident of Atlanta. He has now been in custody since September of 2022. His preliminary hearing was on December 19th of 2022, and this is his first hearing since that preliminary hearing when that bond was also set. The address that you see reflected in Odyssey is a good address for him. That is where he resides with his roommate, Shannon Branch. Mr. Branch actually came to Mr. Johnson's preliminary hearing in support of Mr. Johnson and has continued to maintain contact with me to have a better understanding of the case and where it currently is as it falls. So Mr. Johnson does have good ties to the community. Aside from Mr. Branch, his father, Mr. Eugene Johnson, is also in the Metro Atlanta area and also has been in contact with me regarding Mr. Johnson and this case. Mr. Johnson does have his GED. At the time of his arrest, he was working with the Center for Employment Opportunities. Through them, he was employed with the City of Atlanta in their sanitation department. This is the CEO program is a nonprofit organization that our office also partners with, helping people maintain steady employment and professional services related to, maintaining steady employment. At this time, since he's been in custody since September of last year, and his prelim is now from 4 months ago, we are asking the court to please reduce his bond to $10,000. Thank you, Judge.
All right, now on here, on his previous bond order, it said must reside at Delmar Lane. Is that still where you're going to reside, sir? All right, what says the state?
Okay.
He said yes. Go ahead. What says the state? I mean, he nodded his head. What says the state? Ms. Patton?
Your Honor, we would object to a reduction in bond, considering the likelihood to reoffend with his prior arrests. I have the numbers as they're broken down already, if you would like me to provide those.
I got it.
Okay.
All right, no drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. Stay away from all Wayfield locations. Let's see. You're gonna have ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, medical, employment, as long as you provide the name of your employer, proof of employment schedule, and the exact location you're going to be working. Stay away from 100 Edge. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. 100 Edgewood. As long as you provide the location you'll be working and provide that, let's see. Proof of employment, name of employer, schedule, the exact location you'll be working. Sorry, I messed up my groove. And provide that in your schedule and the exact location to the ankle monitoring company and to your lawyer so they can provide, so she can provide it to the state. Must reside at 2924 Delmar Lane in Atlanta, Georgia, 30311. So I'll do 8,000, 8,000, 1,000, 8,000, 8,000, and 1,000. Best of luck to you, sir. And I just added his name to my email, Ms. Correa.
Your
Thank
Honor,
you,
that,
Judge.
Your Honor, that curfew was from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. Are we changing it to 24?
Yeah, just do it 24 hours. That way he can just call when he needs to go somewhere. He can let them know.
Yes, ma'am. And you did know for the contact with Anthony Andrews and Melissa Carlise, right?
Yeah, thank you. You're back, man. You're so good, Miss Joe. No further contact with Anthony Andrews and Melissa Carlisle. Best of luck to you, sir. You can leave the booth. All right.
Your Honor, could I selfishly request for my next client to go, just so my colleagues in this card are not also in Zoom court with me?
Okay, who's your next client? Let's see. Oh, yes,
Mr.
that's Mr. Watkins. Jabari
Mhm.
Watkins. Mr. Watkins, 208 days without indictment. There's a $10,800 good bond. 22 CP 212881. 208 days once again without indictment. October the 3rd was a $10,800 good bond. Possession of firearm by a convicted felon, unlawful entry into MARTA, willful obstruction, misdemeanor, reckless conduct. Pre-trial.
Just a moment, please. In regards to Mr. Watkins, 6 prior arrests, 3 arrests for probation violations, 2 convictions for purchase, manufacture, and sale of marijuana in 2017. Nothing further.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Correa.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Watkins is 23 years old. We have verified the address on file. That is where he's been living with his girlfriend. While he was born in New York, he has spent the majority of his life in Georgia since childhood. At the time of his arrest, he was gainfully employed with a landscaping company called Cut Buddies. Prior to this arrest, he had worked with them for 2 years. He has maintained a good relationship with his employer and does expect to be able to go back should his bond be reduced to something he and his family can afford. He does have a 1-year-old daughter. He missed her first birthday while in custody. Additionally, Your Honor, he is a self-taught pianist. He maintains his own YouTube channel where he composes and performs his original scores for various types of music. And that is something that he intends to pursue professionally upon, bonding out and reestablishing other employment as well. His bond has not been reduced since he had first appearance. Judge Mann heard this preliminary hearing in January of this year, January 12th. At this time, I'm asking Your Honor to consider reducing this bond to a $4,000 bond. Thank you, Judge.
And it's Pine View Terrace, right, sir? Thumbs up, thumbs up. All right, what says the state? Ms. Patton?
Your Honor, the state would be amenable to reducing to a lower bond. I have some numbers for the possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, a reduction to 5,000, and the reckless conduct, a reduction to 1,000. So I actually believe it's a little higher than what Ms. Correa is asking for. However, this defendant has had a firearm by a convicted felon, so we are still worried about the danger to the community, but we are amenable to a reduction in this case with the conditions of an ankle monitor, as Your Honor generally does. So I won't go on about it.
No further contact with ALLIA, last name Christie, CHRISTIE. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. Stay away from all MARTA property, sir. That means if you walk by a bus stop on Peach Street, you can't sit down at that bus stop and tie your shoe. That's a violation of your bond condition. You got to walk past that, sit down on the curb and tie your shoe, okay? Stay away from 70 HE homes. And you have an ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, medical, and employment. As long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment, schedule, and the exact location you're going to be working. Sir, you have a 1-year daughter at your house. You have that presumption of innocence. What you're teaching her right now is what she should expect from men in her life. When you get in trouble, you're showing her that's what you should expect. And you got that presumption of innocence. So, sir, do this for your little girl, okay? Make that promise to that little girl. Okay, I got you, sir. So we're going to do 4,500 count 1, 100 count 2, 500 count 3, and 1,000 count 4. Best of luck to you, sir. Go home and take care of your daughter. I don't do no math.
Judge. May I be excused?
Yes, ma'am. All right, let's see. 4,500, 100, 500, and 1,000. Yes, ma'am, Miss Correa. Now switch, let somebody else drive. You drive and let them go. All right, Carl Sinkfield. Mr. Sinkfield. Nope, no Sinkfield. Oh, you got Sinkfield. Okay. Position 3, 21 CP 204313, 540 days without indictment. Carl Sinkfield, there's a $13,000 good bond as of January the 24th for terroristic threats, 2 counts of aggravated assault. Rah!
In regards to Sinkfield, 16 prior arrests, 1 arrest, 2 arrests for probation violations, 4 misdemeanors, a simple assault, simple battery, family violence in 09, an aggravated assault in 2014. Nothing further.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Bray. You still on mute, Ms. Bray.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Okay.
I'm trying to keep up. You go fast.
I like to just
I
put
know.
everybody back on the.
Okay, so you've already said the most important part. 540 days in jail. The case has not been indicted. We did the prelim on July 14th of last year. At that time, the state was on notice of what evidence they had against my client. It was brought out to the court before Judge Drake, I believe, that one of the alleged victims is no longer here. She is deceased. I brought it out to Judge Drake. The DA was Assistant DA DeAndre Royals, who said, hey, when this happened, this particular victim went across the street, spoke to someone immediately after it happened. So therefore, they were not going to dismiss one of these charges involving this particular victim. This particular victim was his mother. So, but she's deceased. She died in December of 2021. The case has not moved, Your Honor. I've argued bond before you before. I did it on January 12th of this year. I did it again, January 24th of this year. And here we are in April and nothing has happened. I know that Your Honor has placed his name in case on your list and sent it to Madam Willis. Nothing has happened. So I am requesting that the bond be substantially reduced from 13,000, get it down to 5,000 so that I can at least try and go through the bail bond project.
Where's he going to live? Before I put stay out of Fulton County.
Wait, because his home is in Fulton County, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on just 1 second.
Are you going to live in Fulton County, sir? Thumbs up or thumbs down? He said thumbs down.
Okay, so the
All right.
address I have is 3296 Clifton Farms Drive, Decatur, Georgia. Is that where you will live, Mr. Sinkfield?
Thumbs up. He gave a thumbs up.
Okay, so that's where he will be, which is DeKalb.
Right. All right. We know this ain't DeKalb County. All right. So
If we can get it down to 5, I can try and go through the bail bond project, Your Honor.
Sir, I'm sorry that you were in jail when you lost your mother. That's a very hard loss. I'm so sorry about that. Go ahead, Ms. Patton.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm sorry. It took me a minute to get to the mute button. The state would object to a reduction in bond. That's reasonable and appropriate considering the nature of the charges. $13,000 good bond is, fair and reasonable, and he does have a bond. There's a significant likelihood to reoffend based on his previous history. Nothing further from the state.
All right. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. You're going to have an ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, medical, attorney visits, and employment. As long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment schedule, and the exact location you're going to be working. Stay out of Fulton County unless you're here for court or to see your lawyer. Let's see. Stay away from 4333 Scott Circle and East Point. No further contact with Rachel Cooley. Once again, sir, I apologize, and I hate that for your mother. 2,000, 3,000, and is that, I don't know which one has Miss Sinkfield as the alleged victim. But I'll make that one 1,000.
Your Honor, I'll look at I'll look at the,
Okay,
chart.
yeah, make the one against Miss Sinkfield so she's deceased, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 1,000. That income honor be paid for by the county. Best of luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you,
And
Miss.
Judge, if I could, just very selfishly, similar to Ms. Correa, could we do, Keith
White, who's
White?
next? Who's next?
Were you gonna call him next?
He's on my list. Thank you, Miss Bray. Thank you, Mr. Sinkfield. You can lead the way. All right, keep on right. White, where you at, Mr. White? All right. All right, this is position 11, Bostic 22 CP 207603. Kiwan Dimitri White, 405 days without indictment as of January the 26th. There is a $90,000 good bond. Ag assault, robbery, possession of firearm during the commission of a felony, discharge of a firearm. No. Yeah, discharge of a firearm near a public street or highway, simple battery, and terroristic threats and acts. Free trial.
On the prior arrest, nothing further.
All right, go ahead, Miss Bassett. 405 days.
Thank you, Your Honor. 405 days. I will say I have had this case for so long that I forgot his file at my office and I don't need it because he's been my client for that long. As you said, the bond is $90,000. He is unable to make that. I would note that we had a preliminary hearing for Mr. White back in September. Case is still unindicted, obviously, or we wouldn't be here. I will say I understand that the charges sound serious, but upon reviewing the case and after conducting a prelim, I will say, you know, I don't want to get too into the facts because I don't know that the YouTube audience needs to hear Mr. White's business like that, but it just does not add up. Like, I'm reading the report, I'm hearing the officer's testimony, and I'm like, this is not how things happen in real life. And so I know that that's not an issue for today, it's an issue for later, but we can't get to later until the state does its job. Mr. White is from the Atlanta area. He has family locally. I have spoken with them numerous times. He was a senior in high school when he was arrested, and he does want to finish. He has a place to go. He has a place to be. He's going to stay with his family. He has goals to keep him busy. I don't expect that he's going to be in any trouble. He is asserting his right to a speedy trial, and I am in the process of drafting a constitutional speedy motion to dismiss. So I wanted to put the state on notice of that. And for today, we are asking for a $45,000 good bond.
All right. He's going to live in Union City?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. What says the state?
Ms. Bassett, just quickly, is he living with his parents?
That's my understanding.
Okay. We're amenable to a reduction in bond, and that's honestly only based upon speaking with the victims. The nature of the charges are very serious, but in terms of the aggravated assault would be reduced to a $10,000 good bond. That would be for both of them. The robbery still will be a $10,000 good bond, possession of a firearm, still $10,000, and discharge of firearms near a public highway reduced to $5,000, simple battery reduced to $1,000, terroristic act or threat reduced to $2,000. And I didn't do the math, so I'm not sure if that meets your $45,000.
All right. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. You're going to have an income honor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew. Court, lawyer, medical, employment, as long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment schedule, and the exact location you'll be working. Also school or GED. So you just got to provide proof of enrollment and that you're actually going. No further contact with Travis Davis or Cooley, Coley Carter. 10,000, 10,000, 7,000, 7,000, 5,000, 1,000, and 2,000. Best of luck to you, sir. 10, 10, 7, 7, 5, 1, and 2. Best of luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Judge. And that would conclude my business for this evening. May I please be excused?
Yes, ma'am. Have a good evening.
You too.
All right, Ms. Braid. Let's see. Gordon Broussard. You got Mr. Broussard. All right,
Yeah.
There we go.
Was that to stay out of Fulton County for Mr. White?
Oh, no, I think he lives in Fulton County. He lives in Union City.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, this is 22 CP 210312. This position for Bostic. Gordon Broussard, 302 days without indictment, $75,000 good bond as of January the 20th. Possession, manufacture, distribution, sale of marijuana, possession of controlled substance in Schedule 2 with intent to distribute, possession of scheduled controlled substance Schedule 2, possession of methamphetamines with intent to distribute, trafficking in MDMA. Pre-trial.
14 prior arrests, 3 arrests for probation violation, at least 3 felonies, but 3 felonies. Took a first offender on a purchase, manufacture, and sale of marijuana in 2010, 2011 theft by shoplifting, 2016 Schedule 4. Currently on probation in Spalding for unauthorized use of prohibited item. 12, 15, 21, 5 years, 1 arrest for probation violation. Nothing further.
All right. Go ahead, Miss Bray. Where's he gonna live? You're on mute, Miss Bray. Wait, where'd she go? Bray. Where did Bray go? Oh, Bray. She get kicked off, Bostic. I don't think I see her.
I don't see her, Your Honor.
I don't think she got kicked off. Hold on.
I don't see her.
Let's see. She's usually quick. Let's see. Second, so she can jump back on. Since we just read through all of that.
All my reading skills for nothing.
See?
I have to work up to read.
I know you've been practicing. You've been doing good, Bostic. You got stick figures or pictures on there?
Yes. I have to take breathing and all that so I don't stutter.
Let's see.
Somebody just came on.
At the oh no, that's Kennebrew. Come on, Bray. I just
No,
texted.
she was already on here.
Yeah. Ah. Maybe she'd pay her phone bill. All right. Come on, Bray. One more second. Let's see, I was just writing this down. You got her number, Bostic?
I texted her already.
I did too. All right, let's see. Well, that's hers too. All right, what about Harold Moss? We'll be right back as soon as Miss Bray gets on. And she got kicked off, I think. Wait, yeah. All right, Harold Moss. So we got his position 14, Bostic, 23, CP 215, 239, 112 days without indictment, no bond on aggravated assault against a law enforcement officer. Preach! Rah!
13 prior arrests, 5 misdemeanors, 2 felonies. This is in Georgia. Criminal Fulton, the first burglary, robbery, 2016 theft by taking, 1 arrest in New Mexico, 1 arrest in Tennessee. In Tennessee, a very old misdemeanor, I believe. Nothing further.
Your Honor, I'm here on behalf of Ms. Rosenhuber.
Okay, go ahead.
Right, Mr. Moss has been in custody for 111 days without indictment. He is currently on a no bond status, so he is legally entitled to bond for today. We are asking for a $10,000 good bond to be set so that he can go to the hold in Arizona and seek treatment. Few facts about Mr. Moss. He is 46 years of age. He is a lifelong Georgia resident. He does have a valid address on file. It looks to be in Cobb County. He did graduate from high school, and he also earned an associate's degree from Fort Valley State in business administration. He does have his quality insurance certificate, and it enables him to do engineering work without a full engineering degree. So he is currently unemployed, but he will be able to seek employment upon being released. We are just, again, asking for a $10,000 good bond to be set on his case so that he is able to go to his hold and to also seek the treatment that he needs.
All right. Let's see, Ms. Patton, according to this, let's see. Place his vehicle reversed, then place getting driving towards the officer in a manner which he's attempted to run him over. Looks like it was a traffic stop. What do you say? Have you spoke with the officer?
Your Honor, I reached out to the officer. I haven't heard back from him yet. He'll probably text me as soon as I just said it, or as soon as we get off here, because that's Murphy's Law for me. The state's asking for a $20,000 good bond in this case. The nature of the crime itself, also due to the fact that he is and does have charges in other states, the risk of fleeing and the likelihood of reoffense is substantial. That being said, again, a $20,000 good bond is recommended. Nothing further from the state.
All right. Let's see. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. Stay out of Fulton County unless you're here for court or to see your lawyer. That means, sir, you don't stop for gas, you don't get a flat tire, you don't get lunch, you store a snack in the car. Don't stop at Chick-fil-A, don't stop at Chipotle. Let's see, what else? Fellini's Pizza, have Fellini's. Don't get a Fellini's Pizza in Fulton County. All right. You're gonna have ankle monitor. No, actually, you're gonna have one of the Teletrix monitors. Miss Young, Teletrix, paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew. Court, lawyer, medical, employment. As long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment schedule, and the exact location you'll be driving. You'll be working. And no driving during the pendency of this case until somebody modifies your bond. If they don't modify your bond, you cannot drive. No further contact with Officer John Hurst, Hurst, unless it's in official duties. Sir, you go straight to Cobb County, you stay in Cobb County. Court, lawyer, that's the only reason you come to Fulton. $45,000 good bond. Best of luck to you, sir. You can leave the booth. No, hey, Miss Bray, you back. Miss Bray, take yourself off mute.
Your Honor, I'm back. I'm
Yeah.
trying to get onto the part that lets me pull up the booking screen.
Did you
That's
hear
my issue right now.
Did you hear Bostic?
Which case is it? I'm sorry.
Oh, Broussard Gordon, did you hear his
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
All right,
Hold on. I'm sorry.
allegedly 29 grams of fentanyl, 61 grams, 175 grams of meth, 89 grams of weed, and 61 alleged 61 grams of is it MDMA?
But Your Honor, he's been in jail 302 days.
And being
We
in jail
did this
302
prelim
days.
back in October. And nothing has happened. And the amount of drugs they're saying that they're alleging he had, those are the drugs that should have been tested by now. I understand they sent out an email saying, if it's small amounts, they're not testing them. This is allegedly large amounts. So why haven't they done something since October of last year? They've done nothing. And my client has been sitting in jail 302 days of this year. So I want his bond reduced substantially, Your Honor, because they've done nothing. And they already know what they have, what evidence they allegedly have, they know about it. So they need to do something because he's just sitting.
Do you know where is he gonna live in Fulton County?
Hold on.
Sir, you give me a thumbs up. Are you gonna live in Fulton County? Thumbs down. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Let's see.
He said thumbs down, right?
Right, he said thumbs down.
So it's 4850
Swanee.
Chesterfield Court, Sewanee, Georgia.
All right, that's right, in Swanee. Thumbs up. All right, he gave us a thumbs up. Go ahead, Miss Patton.
Yes, Your Honor. The state would object to a reduction in bond. He does have a bond in place, which is what he's statutorily, required to have. He does have one. I believe it's 10, 10, 10, 15, 30 on the numbers. We would ask that you keep that in place. It's reasonable considering the nature of the felonies that have been alleged. Also, the fact that he has 14 prior felonies. And I believe, and I might be crossing it with the previous case just because we had a little bit of a break. So forgive me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
I believe he had charges in another state as well. But pre-trial can confirm that for me.
Bostic.
Yes.
I don't know about another state. There's a whole,
Broussard,
I think,
Broussard,
for
I don't have
Spalding
anything for another
County.
state.
Okay, I might have been
Sorry, I
from the
didn't get
last
that, Ms.
case.
Bostic.
That was the other.
Hold on,
I'm
wait,
sorry, we're talking over
wait.
each other.
Wait. All right, get it from Miss Gandy. Respond, Bostic.
Broussard doesn't have anything. That was the person we read while Ms. Bray was gone.
Okay, but I was only gone because y'all kicked me off.
I
didn't pay-
wasn't saying that as something against you, Miss Bray. I was just trying to correct Miss Patton.
I
Bray-
know, boo-boo. Okay.
Dang.
Miss Bray, you didn't pay your internet bill. That was the other one. Though, Miss Bostic. It's easy to get it confused. So go ahead. And it looks like, yeah, he's going to live outside of Fulton County.
My apologies for the mix
Okay.
up, Mr. Broussard. But that's all from the state.
All right. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. Stay away from 5570 Roswell Road in Atlanta, Georgia. Stay out of Fulton County unless you're for court or to see your lawyer. You're going to have a teletrix monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew. Court, lawyer, medical, or employment. As long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment is scheduled in the exact location you're going to be working. The only reason you come to Fulton County once again, sir, is court or to see your lawyer. Fill up with gas. Make sure you got air in your tires. Don't run out of gas. Don't get a snacks. Throw a pack of crackers in your car. All right. Let's see. Make sure we're good. Good at that. All right. So we're going to go 5,000, 5,000. 10,000, 10,000, and 20,000. 5,000, 5,000, 10,000, 10,000, 20,000. Best of luck to you, sir. You can leave the booth. I've already put that on my email. All right, let's see. Kejwan Ragland, Mr. Ragland. All right, there you go, Mr. Ragland. Position 9, Bostic 22, CP 214739. 134 days without indictment. Got aggravated assault, criminal trespass, no bond as of December the 16th. Free trial.
In regards to Ragland, 4 prior arrests, 1 misdemeanor. 2 misdemeanors, my bad. A 2020 simple battery, family violence, and obstruction, and currently just sentenced to a battery, simple battery, 3/21/23, 12 months, victim Robin Calhoun. Nothing further.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Bray.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Kwan Ragland is 19 years old. He has a stable address, 1555. I believe it's McLeodon Avenue, apartment 3, Atlanta, Georgia, 30307, where he lived with his cousin, Starlet Thompson. He's born and raised here in Atlanta. Your Honor, he's been in jail on this case since December 15th. Of 2022. I was assigned to him on December 16th, the next day. Nothing has happened on this case, Your Honor.
All right. Go ahead, Ms. Patton.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Ragland is statutorily entitled to a bond, but at this time, the state would recommend for the aggravated assault charge a $30,000 good bond, for the criminal trespass and damage to property, a $5,000 good bond. The nature of the crime is very serious, and we're concerned about there being a possible danger to the victim in this case, whose name's Alexis Haley.
Right, says it's his sister.
Correct.
Correct, Your Honor, but I believe it started based on an argument with the grandmother. And the one person who has called me continuously since December of last year is the grandmother. She's concerned about her child, her grandchild. She wants him out. She understands that there are other things going on. Now, those other things do not at this point arise to the level where I would do an ex parte, but she recognized what it is.
Okay.
And she would like for him to have, a normal bond, something, because 9 out of 10, she's going to be the one. Other family members, they're going to be the one to post his bond and get him out.
All right.
And he's been in all this time. So, the state needs to put up or shut up.
All right.
Much.
No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. No further contact with Alexis Haley, Haley. Obviously, if she calls to speak, does some sort of affidavit, we could change that, but you can't have any further contact with your sister. Stay away from 139 Dahlia Avenue, Dahlia Avenue Northwest. You're going to have a teletrix monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew. Court, lawyer, medical, or employment. As long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment schedule, in the exact location you're going to be working. You got to supply that to Miss Bray and to the ankle monitoring company. $20,000 and $5,000. Best of luck to you, sir. You can leave the booth. All right. Demarest Lee, Mr. Lee. All right. This is a Miss Bray night.
I know. I don't even know what happened, Lord Jesus, but it's my night tonight.
All right. Let's see. This is position 5, Bostic 22, CP 211977. 238 days without indictment. There is a $17,100 good bond as of January the 19th. Possession of cocaine with intent to distribute, possession of marijuana with intent to distribute, possession of firearm by a convicted felon, possession of firearm or knife during the commission of or attempt to commit certain felonies, possession of drug-related objects. Free trial.
Extensive criminal history, 27 prior arrests, repeat offender, at least 6 felonies, 2 misdemeanors, 1 arrest for probation violation, currently on probation for aggravated assault, 2014. What? Battery, family violence, a 20-year sentence, nothing further.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Bray.
Yes, Your Honor. So Mr. Lee has been in for the amount of time that Your Honor has said he's been in. He came in to me on September 2nd, which means he was probably arrested September 1st. We did have a preliminary hearing on December 8th of 2022. So we're talking back in December. We're almost 5 months later. On Monday, it's 5 months later. Nothing has happened on this case, Your Honor. He has 5 children, 23, 22, 17, 16, and 15. He is a lifelong resident of the state of Georgia. Prior to his arrest, he was working for Weldon Towing Company, towing cars, and he was also doing home renovation on the side. That was his work experience for the last 20, 25 years. I'm not understanding why nothing has been done on this case. If he's a danger to society, the DA's office should have done something. They have done nothing. I was before Your Honor. Wait a minute. I want to say January 19th, 2023. Maybe that's when we got the current bond that we currently have.
It is.
Okay. And here we are 3 months later. Nothing has happened. This is a case. Well, all of the cases I have on the calendar, I would like for Your Honor to put them on your list and send them to Madam Willis. And I do believe most of these you have already sent to Madam Willis, but nothing has happened.
Looks like it was allegedly 10.4 grams of coke, 11 grams of weed, 14.2 grams of crack. All right, Ms. Patton.
Yes, Your Honor, the state would object to a reduction in bond. His bond is reasonable at around $17,000 good bond. I didn't do the math as well here. If Your Honor is inclined to reduce his bond, we would ask that the same conditions be put in place. I would like to point out to Your Honor, though, that there's also a significant likelihood of reoffending considering his extensive criminal history that was read out by pretrial.
All right, no drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. You're going to have an ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, medical, and employment. As long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment schedule, and the exact location you're going to be working. Stay away from 942 Lucille Avenue. That's the Atrium Senior College Town. 3,000, 1,000, 5,000, 5,000, and UJR jail. 3,000, 1,000, 5,000, 5,000, and UJR jail. Best of luck to you, sir.
14,000, you know, math is not my strong point. I would be a doctor if it was. So that's 14,000.
Yeah, no matter what, we're smarter than doctors. Just got to convince my mom of that.
That's right. It's 14K split, correct?
Okay, I did it. Thank you.
All right, let's see. Make sure. All right, how about William Gear? Sir, you can lead the booth. All right, Mr. Gear. We got 22 CP 213323, position 20, 191 days without indictment, $16,000 good bond as of January the 24th. Aggravated assault, possession of firearm during the commission of certain felonies, theft by shoplifting, terroristic threats. Pre-trial.
5 prior arrests, first offender in 2014, burglary in DeKalb, 2019 burglary. In Kentucky, 2 arrests, FTA 2018, nothing further.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Cho.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good evening. Judge, this is 191 days, I think, as of today.
Yes, sir.
And there was a probable cause hearing held in January. A charge was added at that time. So not the best result for Mr. Gear in the sense that the officer showed up and I think the initial charges were sufficient for the case that we have. We understand the allegations as they're laid out, notwithstanding that, Judge, no one was actually harmed in this case. And the item in question, which I believe was valued at $46.97, was, I believe, subsequently returned to Home Depot, a mega corporation. Judge, this is a straightforward case. It's very easy. The complaining witness is probably the person that showed up for the probable cause hearing, and there has not been an indictment since then. So for Mr. Gear, it's, I don't think, a very good time for him to just stay in jail for this long time period. Sandy Springs address is a good address, is my understanding. Mr. Gear has a mother who lives in the Georgia area as well with a 404 area code. And Judge, he is a father. He has an 8-year-old son who lives in Georgia, so he has sufficient ties to the community. He was unemployed previously, but was working for construction at Balfour, Balfour, Babutty. I'm not sure how to say that. Babutty company. He was doing that previously for 4 years. Judge, I believe currently bond is at
$16,000.
$16,000, Judge. At this point, if I have applaud everything Ms. Bray has said today, and if there is a list and emails have been sent and there's still not been any activity, Judge, at this point, I just don't believe sincerely that there's going to be any priority given to any of these cases. I would ask the court to consider UJR for all these cases, and if there's any complaints or issues, I'll just leave it at that, Judge. Nothing further.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Ms. Patton.
Yes, Your Honor, we would object to a rejection in his bond. He does have a bond as he is entitled to. It is more than fair and reasonable considering, again, the nature of what happened and his previous history. That being said, I believe you are correct. It's a 16 good bond in place, and we would ask that that remain the same. Nothing further from the state.
All right. Right, no drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no further contact with Darius Mitchell, Jason CYNE. Let's see, no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons. You're gonna have a ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, medical, and employment, as long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment schedule, and the exact location you're going to be working. And I'd put down here previously to provide a home address, but you have a home address where you'll be living now, sir?
Judge, the address is the one that's on the intake form. I believe it's his mother's address.
Roswell Road, sir? Is that where you live? Okay, I don't know why I put, he must not have thought he could live there before. All right, stay away from all Home Depot stores. Can't go in a Home Depot store at all. Stay away from 2525 Piedmont Road in Atlanta, Georgia, which ends up being what? Midtown? Is that considered Buckhead? I forget what that is. So what we'll do here is 4,000, 100, and 2,000. 4,000, 4,100, and 2,000. Best of luck to you, sir. You can leave the booth. I've already added this one to the list too, Mr. Cho.
Thank you so much, Judge. That concludes my business. May I be excused?
Yes, sir. Have a good evening. Let's see.
Thank
Kareem
you.
Harris.
Thank you, 88 Patton.
Miss Robinson, Miss Pinto put in there, where's 3 South? Is 3 South?
Judge, I'm working with Lieutenant Coughlin, trying to get her client in the booth now.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right, let's see 3 South. Okay, what about Nasir Mead, Mr. Mead? All right, Miss Bray, this position 6, Bostic 22, CP 213165, 197 days without indictment. Nasir, Naseer Mead, $73,000 good bond as of January the 26th. Aggravated assault, false imprisonment, battery, family violence, trafficking of people for sexual servitude, terrorist threats, and act. Pre-trial.
Wait, Your Honor, before we get to pretrial, because I know pretrial is going to mention another case
No,
that
I won't.
ended up.
No, I
Bray,
don't.
you know Bostic better than that.
Bostic
I
gonna
don't know
let
what she
me
talking
fight
about, because I
her.
ain't got nothing that's not supposed to be said.
Oh, I'm gonna fight you, Bostic.
Put them up, put them up. I don't have anything that's not supposed to be said.
Okay, well, go ahead and say it. I'll let you say it, but then I gotta talk. Okay.
I got 8 prior arrests, 2 FTAs, a misdemeanor, and armed robbery, 3 counts, criminal attempted felony in DeKalb from 2020.
Did you have another CWAC you're thinking, Ms. Bray?
Your Honor, I just know that this case is connected to a case that I already represented him on, right?
It may have been dropped.
It would,
If it's dropped,
yes.
I'm not gonna say it.
Okay.
Okay, so it's dismissed. There was a hold for this case here, right?
Gotcha.
So he goes to the hold, and then they bring him right back to Fulton County, like within 2-3 days. I want Your Honor to take into account the amount of time that Mr. Meade sat in jail on this other case involving this same person. And he sat months, Your Honor. Trust me, I tried to get him out. And
you know
I
that,
couldn't.
do you know that old case number, Ms. Bray? So I could put this in my.
Okay, Bostic, you know everything. So you tell her the case number. I think it's 22 CP 210320, but it involves these same people.
And how long was he in on that one?
A long time.
You don't know how many days I look. Okay.
Well, I gave you.
No, I'm looking. I said, I'll look. I thought you knew off the top of your head.
No, I didn't. I should have known. I apologize, Your Honor.
That's all right. I'll pull it up.
My point in bringing it up is that I want Your Honor to understand that, hey, this man been in jail a long, long time. And the first case ended up being dismissed, right? They had a hold from College Park or whoever, but it was connected to the same case, the same people. And so he's just been sitting. We did a prelim on that other case. I just want Your Honor to take into account all the time he's been sitting and nothing has happened. Like the other case, I believe it was dismissed. And then we got this case, but it's the same people, the same set of facts, the same date, all of that. And he's just sitting with no bond. Oh, wait, it says 73, whatever. 73,000 to me is the same as no bond, because I can't post a $73,000 bond. I don't have money like that.
Okay. All right, Ms. Patton, let's see. I'm pulling up that other case too, Ms. Patton. So go ahead.
Your Honor, the state would object to a reduction in bond. He does have a bond, a $73,000 bond that he was given. We would ask that it remains the same. I will honor the court's rules and Ms. Bray's rules to not bring up the other case that is a sensitive matter, but the nature of these charges are very concerning. He also has a pending armed robbery in DeKalb County right now.
Ms. Bray, what you gave me, the case number on is a theft by taking.
But it's connected to
Okay.
this same case.
Okay, I thought it was
Because
like
the same victim was alleging that he stole her luggage from a MARTA station. That's how it started way back then. Whatever the incident date, the arrest date is, he has been in jail continuously based on that. And then once I took care of that, and they came and got him for College Park, East Point, wherever the hell it was, they just brought him back to Fulton County like within a day or two. So he has never touched freedom on the street, but it's the same thing, Your Honor, and nothing has happened. He has not even, wait a minute, because I don't want to lie. He has not had a prelim on this. Does Your Honor see where he has had a prelim on this?
No, okay, well,
because I don't see it.
Your Honor, I've been guaranteed that they anticipate indictment with this specific case because of the nature of the charges within 90 days. I understand what Ms. Bray is saying. However, I'm going to state again to the court, the nature of these charges are extremely dangerous and concerning. I will not bring them up because I'm trying to honor what the court is saying. Officially, though, as I stated before, the state would object. He does have a bond put in place, and $73,000 good bond is reasonable considering these charges.
Right. Okay. And I've got a Beaufort, Georgia address, Ms. Bray. Is that right, sir? Beaufort? Thumbs up. All right. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. Stay away from 1360 Virginia Avenue and 1471 Elizabeth Lane in East Point. You're going to have a teletrix monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew. Court, lawyer, medical, or employment, as long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment schedule, the exact location you're going to be working. Stay out of Fulton County, sir, unless you're here for court or to see your lawyer. Don't come here. Don't get gas. Don't get a flat tire. Don't get anything to eat. All right? Throw a snack in your car. Court, see your lawyer only. No further contact with Kira, Kirra Harrington, and Kennedy Jackson. No further contact with Kennedy Jackson. If there's a hold, sir, you'll have 48 hours to have that ankle monitor placed on your ankle. So I got 15,000, 4,000, 4,000, 35,000, and 1,000. Best of luck to you, sir. Miss Travoria, Miss Robinson, could you send an email to
Yes, ma'am. I'm
Miss
gonna
Watts and see if we can get him on a.
I'll send it to Dexter. He's the one who puts them on. I'll just
Okay.
copy.
All right. Yes.
At least let me have a prelim.
Yeah, she'll put him. We'll get
I'll
him
put
on
it
the
on.
calendar.
Thank
All right,
you.
Best of luck to you, sir.
Your Honor, I think that's the last case I have before you.
I think so. Yep.
Your
I
Honor,
think
my internet, but it keeps freezing like every 5 minutes. 15, 4, 4, 35, and 1, correct?
so. Let's see. Just sit down. Hold on.
That doesn't sound right.
Just sit it down. Hold on 1 second. I got 15, 4, 4, 35, and 1.
Thank you.
3,500 or 35,000?
1,000. We'll get you on a prelim and we'll address it once we hear all the testimony. And if it's on mine, Miss Bray, I'll address the bond.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Robbie Mosley. There we go, Mr. Mosley. 22 CP 208405. It's number 7, Boston. 374 days without indictment. There is a $75,000 good bond on armed robbery. Free trial.
In 2022, battery on a pregnant person, Anastasia killings and an FTA in 2022. Nothing further.
All right. Go ahead, Ms. Woods.
Hey, Judge, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Mr. Mosley's been in over a year, Judge. $75,000 is essentially no bond status for him. He has been accepted into Georgia Works, and I point that out because he does struggle with stable housing. And so that's why we think that would be a great place for him to go. We did have a preliminary hearing on this case in September of last year. It's still unindicted. I know the charges look very serious on paper. However, I do expect this to resolve completely different. It's a situation at a homeless encampment, Judge. And so I think the state's going to have a hard time finding their witnesses. And I think it's a theft by receiving stolen property at best, but we'll get into that later on. We're just asking for a reasonable reduction. He's 32. He's been here in Georgia the past 5 years. He has his GED. He was working at Wahlburgers, the restaurant. And so his main concern is housing, Judge. And so we're just asking that you'll consider a reasonable reduction so that he can go into his bed at Georgia Works.
All right. I just put this on my list of Miss Wallace. I'm also going to put Mr. Royal on there. Go ahead, Miss Patton.
Ms. Wood, clarification, you said he has been accepted into the program?
Yes, he was accepted actually at the end of December, and I can send the acceptance letter to you and the court if needed.
Okay, I'm take your word for it. Your Honor, the state is amenable to a slight reduction in bond. Again, as stated before, the nature of these charges are rather serious. Also concerned about a likelihood of reoffending based on his history. The state would be amenable to a reduction. I believe it's $75,000 good bond to a reduction to a $50,000 good bond.
All right. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. No further contact with Joshua Williams. You're going to have a teletrix monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, medical, employment, and participation in a program. If you get a job, sir, you have to provide the name of your employer, proof of employment schedule, the exact location you're going to be working. Stay away from 3 Farley Street Northwest. $45,000 good bond. Best of luck to you, sir. and I don't see, has there been a prelim on this one? No.
Yes, Judge. I
Oh,
believe
yeah,
September
yeah,
the
they did. They put it in
14th.
September. All right, best of luck to you, sir. You can leave the booth, and I'll put this in my email that I will send here as soon as I finish.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes, ma'am. Good to see you. All
Thank you.
right, now do we have Nicholas Shadrick? I'm trying to find, is it position 28 is the one that's reset, right? Hickmade and Adanke, that's the one that's reset, right?
Yes, ma'am. Judge,
Yes.
about the Georgia Works program, you want me to put in the information about that? He can participate?
Yeah, please. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'd just like to have your permission. I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am. No, Leon Parker. Oh, that's not Leon Parker. Are you Kareem Harris?
Judge, I can unmute the booth to see who he is.
Are you Sahir Duvall? Nope. Oh.
Now, Your Honor, so here Duvall, who
No,
used to
okay,
be my
hold on
client,
one
is
more time.
no
Hold on. Let's
more.
see. What does that say? It says
William Lyle represents
Hold,
him.
hold on a
Hold on.
second. Judge,
Quentin.
7 North Booth 1 is unmuted.
All right. Okay, say your name, sir. We took you off mute.
Quentin Shelton.
Quentin Shelton.
Yes, ma'am. That's Your Honor. Your Honor.
No, you're good. I don't see you on my list, sir. Were you told you were supposed to be here today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Let's see. Hold on. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Let's see. Quentin Shelton. Hold on. Here he must be here. Hold on 1 second. Quentin, how do you spell your first name? Oh, can you unmute him again? Sorry.
Yeah, I'll take him off.
Okay. How you spell Quentin?
Quint. They in the system is O-N, but it's really A-N.
Okay. Well, that may be why. Okay. In the system, then. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe they corrected it. So it's Quentin Sheldon, right?
Yes, Shelton. Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
Thank
Which
you.
case does he think he's here for? The CP case?
Your Honor.
Are you? Do you know which case you think you're here for? Hold on. Here it comes.
No, Your Honor.
He has 2 cases.
Oh yeah. Okay. Hold on. Oh, one's indicted, and the other one was just. Let's see. Hold on. One in. Let's see. I see the CP is loading up.
On the CP case,
Yeah.
his last hearing was a prelim in February.
Yeah. Let's see. So you have a 37. So you went to court in February,
Yes, Your Honor.
and your lawyer. Who is? Let me see who your lawyer is.
Eric Cho.
Oh, Mr. Cho. Mr. Cho, you still on here? Mr. Cho, looks like we need to get him back on a calendar.
Judge, I am. Is he on the calendar today? I didn't see.
No,
him.
he's not.
Ms.
So,
Shelton, how long have you been in jail?
About 16 months.
so I'll tell you exact number right now. It has been. Well, he's got the SC case, so this is the CP case. So, we have 516 days.
Judge, if you can give me the CP number, please.
22 CP 212871.
Thank you.
Judge, if I remember correctly, one case was indicted, one case was not.
Right.
My Odyssey is not working.
The one I just gave you is the one that's not indicted.
22 CP 212871, right?
Yes, sir.
Judge, we had a prelim, I believe, approximately.
February.
Yes, it was reset from January. The officer was a no-show the first time. It was reset again. There has not been any activity in this case. It's fairly straightforward. There was a prelim held.
So
There's
you
no
did have a
reason why one
prelim?
case.
You finally had the prelim?
That's correct, right, Mr.
Okay.
Shelton?
Yeah, there's a probable cause order on February 17th. Okay.
It's just fairly straightforward. If one case is indicted, the other case I think should be indicted as well. It's a matter of judicial economy and not to waste the bed space in an overcrowded jail. I believe, Mr. Shelton, you don't have a bond on the indicted case, right?
I'm pulling it up. That's in front of Judge Krause.
Yes.
Hold on, let's see.
My Odyssey stopped working, Judge, so I apologize.
That's all right. Okay, hold on. There is a bond order that says 105,000.
Judge, there's a six-figure bond.
Then it's
I
100,
apologize.
okay, 80, so now it's 8, it was reduced to 80,000 January 25th.
Well, Judge, 500 days with no income. You can't make income at the jail.
Yeah, I said that in January 25th, it was $80,000. So you'd have to get that back in front of Judge Krause, but we could put this other one on or put it on for pre-lit. Oh yeah, we could put it back on.
Yeah, Judge, I don't see where a bond motion has been filed. Once he files that bond motion, I'll put it back on.
Yeah, if you file a bond motion, that CP case, Mr. Chair, we'll get it back on.
Absolutely, and absolutely understood. Mr. Robinson will follow your directive, of course. I would just say, Judge, if we are here, I could make an oral motion for bond without Mr. Shelton's objection, ask the court for a reduction, and ask that this case be calendared continuously until it gets indicted, would be my suggestion. I will honor and defer to the court, of course.
I don't know where Miss Patton is, or if she's prepared, because I don't know.
I know, Miss Patton, ADA Patton, I don't mean to put you in the hot seat. I know you had I don't mean to put you on the hot
in
seat.
general, I do like to prepare for my motions. However, I appreciate Mr. Cho's, situation that he's in. And if you could provide me with the name of the defendant, if I could just have a second to look, I can even see if that's plausible right now. Because I don't even know this defendant's name. I don't know anything about him to even agree to be able to do an oral argument.
Well, I'll say it like this, no pressure, but the case number is 22 CP 212871. And I'll put it in the chat with the name.
Thank you.
Let's see, and 3 South. Are you Nicholas Shadrick? So we'll get back to you, Mr. Shelton. Nicholas Shadrick. What about Leon Parker? Leon Parker. All right, let's see. This was position 25. Okay, that's all right. That's 23 CP 215617. Leon Antonio Parker got 98 days out indictment, charged with stolen. There's $100,000 cash bond as of January the 21st. Pre-trial.
Judge, in regards to Mr. Parker, 8 prior arrests, open case 22 SC 181183, aggravated assault in the Sims, Judge Ingram, victim Haley Lattice. 5 misdemeanors, 1 being a DUI, 2 arrests for probation violation, nothing further.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Kennebrew.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here on behalf of Attorney Rosenhoover for Mr. Parker. As you stated, Mr. Parker has been in custody for 98 days without indictment. Pretrial did bring up an open SC case that, interestingly, the allegations in that case appear to have happened after this warrant. This case is from 2020, or this warrant was filed in 2020, October 26th of 2020, and it's the same alleged victim. This case is essentially charged as a misdemeanor. We are trying to get an indictment from the state, at least indicted to move with the other case that is moving. We're trying to figure out why this misdemeanor is currently here in Superior Court. Is it going to get indicted when you guys accuse it? A little bit about Mr. Parker. He's 36 years of age. He is a lifelong Georgia resident. He does have family here in Georgia, stepfather as well as stepsisters. He does have an address on file. It is in Fulton County, and it is paid for currently. He did graduate from Osborne High School. He did also attend Gordon Community College for a year. He currently receives SSI. He does suffer from some MH issues. We're asking for the bond to be reduced to no more than $25,000, Your Honor, and for it to not be a cash bond.
All right, so this one looks like I did the TPO, and he allegedly violated the TPO order that I put in place back then. And the incident date on this is somewhere between October 26, 2020 and November the 29th, 2020. Ms. Patton?
Your Honor, we would object to a reduction in bond based upon the fact that, one, our victim is really terrified of this defendant, and I would encourage the court to, as you just mentioned, that they have a TPO against him, and this defendant has already violated that. There's a big concern about him being a danger to the victim, as well as as well as a likelihood to reoffend based upon his previous history. At this time, the state is arguing that he does have a bond set in place, as is his right, and it is more than fair and reasonable considering what is going on in this case.
So I'll tell you that this is a misdemeanor. This is charged as a misdemeanor stalking and not a felony. Did you notice that, Ms. Patton?
Not until Ms. Kennebrew brought it up. I'm happy to look into it further, but that's the first time that I noticed it was charged as a misdemeanor.
Right, and it doesn't say on the, I don't see anything like bumped up. It just says remains in Superior Court because of the other one. However, I think $100,000 cash is, I don't know a misdemeanor that would get $100,000.
Your Honor, and we're just asking for a reduction. And if the state feels that he is still such a threat to the complaining witness, go ahead and indict the case. That's essentially what we're asking.
You can take a second look at it, because let me see if that TPO is still in place, if it got extended. You need to look at it for a second, Ms. Patton. Let me pull this up real quick. Man, this thing's going slow. This Brady's already broke everybody's computer.
How did I break everybody's computer? You were messing with me. I got it. I didn't. I paid mine.
I don't know when.
Yeah. So I didn't do it. Your Honor, you're in the case you don't believe me.
Okay. All right, so it was a 2020, let's see. Okay, so that was as of January the 18th, 2022, it was made permanent. My little sloppy signature right there. So January the, So January the 18th, 2022. So now there's a permanent stalking TPO, but it is still in place. It was in place, but yes, it charged as a misdemeanor. So I'll give you a second, look over it, and then I almost think that'd be unconstitutional for $100,000 cash bond as a misdemeanor.
I'm in agreement with you, Your Honor.
Hold on. Hey, Miss Patton, pull up. No. So I don't know if you have it pulled up, but there's an aggravated stalking. Do you see that? I don't know if you see it or if you did that. He's also charged with an aggravated stalking that's assigned to Judge Ingram.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here. I'm trying to.
And if you see that one had a date of 11/3/2021. It was in judicial hold status, discovery, leave of absence. Let's see. There's a final plea May 2nd on that case. Let me see if that's the same.
That's the case that I referred to that happened. It's I think November 3rd, 2021, and it was indicted. If I'm not mistaken, that's the same case.
I don't see a bond on that one, is there?
No, I believe it's in a no bond status.
All right, Ms. Kennebrew, so 22 SC,
Yes, 22 SC 181183.
Yeah, I think that one is, yeah. It was a judicial hold. Ms. Patton, whenever you're ready.
Your Honor.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I was able to take a look at it a little more in depth. That being said, the state is amenable to a reduction. Obviously agreed it is unconstitutional to have a $100,000 bond on a misdemeanor charge.
Yes. And for the record, Judge Manning did not set that.
Nope, you didn't. You did not set that. So we're amenable to a reduction, but we would just like to keep the court's attention to the fact that this is a case where the victim is still very much in concern for her safety.
And I do think that the 22 SC 181183 is a no bond status. That's a felony stalking, aggravated stalking assigned to Judge Ingram.
Correct.
All right, so no drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no further contact with Haley Landis, Landis. You're going to have a teletrix monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, medical. As long as you supply the name of and employment, as long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment schedule, the exact location you'll be working. Stay away from 424 Decatur Street Southeast. Sir, are you going to be living in Fulton County? Thumbs up or thumbs down? All right. So, and Ms. Pat, I think I told you before that Teletrix has an app for the alleged victims, if they're victims in some cases, that they can download, and it will not tell them where he is, but it'll say if he would be within a mile of her location. Let's see. So you're already in no bond status, sir, in the other case. So I think statutory, but I could do a $15,000 good bond. Best of luck to you, sir. You can leave the booth. Thank you, Ms. Kennebrew. All right, now we should have Nicholas Shadrick.
Concludes my business. May I be excused?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Nicholas Shadrick. Are you Nicholas Shadrick? No Nicholas Shadrick yet. Do we know where Nicholas is? Wait, is he the one in Forsyth, right? So you got to waive his presence, right, Mr. Rose? Is that true?
Nicholas Shadrick should be coming in booth.
Okay, who is the one they're going to waive his presence?
That's going to be Sahir Duvall, and he's represented by attorney William Lyle.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. All right, Nicholas Shadrick. Nope. All right, let me get the info. All right, Sahir Duvall. You know he's not going to be here. All right, that's 21 CP 203374. 212 days without indictment. Aggravated assault. Possession of firearm or knife during the commission of or attempt to commit certain felonies. There's $150,000 good bond as of January the 18th. Rah!
Duvall, 24 prior arrests, 5 arrests for probation violation, 1 FTA, 2 misdemeanors, 4 felonies. Prior ag assault firearm during ag assault 2011, open case 23 CP 215840, ag assault riot in a penal institution, 22 SC 183396, cruelty in the second, firearm by, firearm during, reckless conduct, Judge Eden. Nothing further.
All right. Go ahead, Mr. Lyle.
Yes, Mr. Duvall is age 25. He's been in Atlanta his entire life. He has 7 children, and he's working on his GED because he only got to the 10th grade. He will be living in Atlanta, Georgia, so within Fulton County. Given that he's been in prison or jail for 190 days at this point, we would request that his bond is reduced to $120,000 because he's going to be in the jail for a little while anyway because of the other open cases. Looks like he had a preliminary hearing on January 18th.
All right, Ms. Patton.
Your Honor, just to clarify, we're on position number 1. I didn't hear you.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah,
Yes.
Sahir Duvall.
Okay, the state will consent to that. That's reasonable in this case.
All right, what was that amount again, Mr. Law?
120.
All right, so 100 on count 1, 20,000 on count 2. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no further contact with TREVEALE, last name Oliver. Teletrix monitor paid for by the Orca Project with a 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, medical, employment as long as he supplies name of employer, proof of employment schedule, the exact location he'll be working. Stay away from 523 Cleveland Avenue. And before it said must reside at 2512 Campbellton Road. Is he still going to be able to do that?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, must reside at 2512 Campbellton Road. 100,000 and 20,000. Thank you, Mr. Law. Mr. Law, maybe you want to pass it on. Not sure what we're going to do about folks being up in Forsyth when they can't get there and they don't have. So I guess if people have clients up in Forsyth, Ms. Robinson and I were talking about it, you may need to talk to them ahead of time and see if you can waive their presence. I don't know. I don't think they have the Zoom capabilities. I don't know what we're going to do.
From what I understand, they don't. Apparently, they can take Zoom calls from lawyers up there through a secure system, though I went in person this time. But yeah, it sounds like they're not going to be able to do any of these Zoom calls for that, for the hearing.
And I don't know if they're going to have the body power to like send somebody, that's, so I don't know. But anyway, keep in mind, anytime they're at, Cobb or somewhere else, y'all may want to get permission to waive just in case.
Right.
I would, but anyway, all right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
It may be excused.
Yes, sir. Are you Kareem Harris? All right. Ms. Pinto. Position 2223, CP 215584, 99 days without indictment, no bond as of January the 20th. We got Kareem Harris, aggravated assault, possession of a firearm or knife during the commission of or attempt to commit certain felonies, terroristic threats and acts. Preach, raw.
Kareem Harris.
Kareem Harris, position 22.
There he is. Kareem Harris. This is his only prior arrest in Georgia. He had 2 prior arrests in Pennsylvania. I don't think he has any convictions. Nothing further.
All right. Go ahead, Ms. Pinto.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Harris is 30 years old. He's a high school graduate. If released, he would reside with his mother in Wilmington, Delaware, Judge. All of his family are in Pennsylvania or Delaware. So we do ask that he be allowed to reside with them. Otherwise, he would have to live in a shelter here in Atlanta. He has been in Atlanta for the past 3 years. He was working as an independent contractor doing construction for 3 years. And he also has a nutrition shake business. Had been doing that for 1 year at the time of his arrest. He was living in a rooming house. He resided there for 2 years. And that is the incident location, Judge. So once again, with his family out of state, we're asking that he be allowed to reside there in Delaware with his mother. As stated, he only has 2 prior arrests. He has no convictions, felony or otherwise. So there's no reason to think he would commit a felony if released on bond. He's of no risk to intimidate any witnesses, especially if he's allowed to reside in Delaware. His family is low income, Judge. We are asking for a bond. Of course, he is entitled to one. He's been incarcerated 99 days with no bond and no indictment. We would ask for $5,000 on each charge, so a total of $15,000.
All right. Ms. Patton?
Yes, Your Honor. As stated, Mr. Harris is entitled to a bond. The state at this time is asking for the aggravated assault charge to be a $10,000 good bond, possession of firearm or knife during commission, a $10,000 good bond, and the terroristic threats and acts, a $1,000 good bond. This is based upon the fact that there might be a pose of a threat to the victim, in this case, Mr. Vincent Williams. However, if Your Honor is inclined to instate a lower bond amount, we would ask that the ankle monitor be put in place, and the state has no objection to Mr. Harris living in Delaware, I believe, with his mother and father. Is that correct?
Delaware, yes. Mother. I'm not sure about father.
My apologies. In Delaware with his mother. Nothing further from the state.
All right.
All I would add, Judge, I don't think the ankle monitor company can monitor him outside the state.
Oh, they can.
They can? Okay.
Yeah. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. Stay away from 412 Corvair Drive, Corvair Drive Southeast. No further contact with Vincent Williams. You can have ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, medical, or employment. As long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment schedule, and the exact location you're going to be working. You have to supply that to the ankle monitoring company and to Miss Pinto. Stay out of Fulton County unless you're here for court or to see your lawyer. Matter of fact, stay out of Georgia unless you're here for court or to see your lawyer. You can't even come to Georgia for a pecan log. All right, sir, you fly straight into the Atlanta airport, you go straight to court, and you leave. Don't stop for anything else. 10,000, 10,000, and 1,000. All right, make sure you update your address, sir. Best of luck to you. You can leave the booth. So, Nicholas Shadrack. Thank you, Ms. Pinto.
Thank you, Judge.
I'm trying to get an update from the jail on him. He should be in 7 North. I'm calling Lieutenant Coughlin to see if we can get an update real quick.
All right, but we can go ahead and take Ms. Pinto's other client, and I'm going to destroy his name, Ms. Pinto, if you want to help me.
It's Mbake, Judge.
Mbake, Kadim Mbake. It's the add-on for bond modification. 22, Mr. Mbake, you got to turn your camera on. 22 CP 213693. Let's see, he's out on $170,000 bond for armed robbery and 1 unlawful person be employed by associated with criminal street gang to participate in criminal street gang activity. Unlawful for a person to commit the offense with the intent to earn, obtain, maintain, and increase status. And unlawful for a person to acquire, maintain through criminal gang activity proceeds derived from such, and possession of firearm during the attempt or the commission or attempt to commit a felony. Bostic, try. Anything I need to know?
No.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Pinto. What we doing?
Thank you, Judge. This is a very simple request. Mr. Mbake is on an ankle monitor and a 24-hour curfew. However, he was not granted exceptions for work, job interviews, or court. We're asking that those exceptions be added. He needs to be able to work to help support himself and pay his bills like anyone else. So we just ask for those very simple exceptions.
Did I really not put that in? Does that mine? I didn't put that in there.
It was a different judge.
Oh, okay. All right. Ms. Patton.
No objection from the state.
All right. So that ankle monitor paid for. How's the ankle monitor holding up, sir? Is it okay? All right, because I could switch it to the Talatrix if you wanted. I think they're a little less capable of getting like the charger plug messed up, because you plug the actual charger, Miss Pinto, and then you connect the little charger to the watt, so you don't have to sit there like connected to the wall. Let me switch it out.
Would you prefer that, Mr. Mbake?
Because it kind of looks like one of the big smartwatches.
Yeah, you can turn your mic on. Is that better for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
can we switch it to that, Judge?
Okay, yeah, so it's a Talatrix. And what's the monitor paid for by the work project? Ms. Young, what's that wording that needs to be Talatrix?
I can send it to Miss Pinto, but the wording is Teletrix monitoring will be paid for by Fulton County through AA. All county monitoring, all previous imposed conditions remain in place. But I can send it to Miss Pinto.
Yeah, she can send it to you, Miss Pinto. So that may work a little bit better for you. So we can do that. And that'll include like job interviews. But sir, the main thing is you got to let them know when you're going and things like that. Okay. And you got to let Miss Pinto know. But you'll be able to go and switch that out.
Right. So does he go to A&A all county to switch that out?
So they do the ankle and the Talatrix. I think what he'll do is, see, these people need to like meet with y'all instead of me. With the order, the stuff will get turned over to them, and then they'll set up the time to switch it out. Until then, they'll sort of do that with your ankle monitor too. Let me see where this Talatrix people are. Don't they get in touch with them, LT? Let's see.
Excuse me, Judge.
When they're gonna do the Talatrix, they'll get a copy of this order, right?
I'm not certain, ma'am, but I'll find out.
Yeah, I think it's let me see.
He's not in custody, Your Honor.
Oh yeah, but I mean they should get a copy of the order. So let me see. If you let me look up their website, because you can just call them, Miss Pinto, or he can call them. Hold on. and tell them, because he'll have a copy of the order, TRX. So it's TALITRIX. So you ready, Mr. Mbake, to write the number down?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, it's 678-799-7677. All right, I'm sure Miss Pinto or something will reach out, but they should be able to tell you where to go. I think their office in Alpharetta, go by there and they'll switch them out. Okay, all right, he gave me a thumbs up. All right, best of luck to you, sir. Miss Pinto, you just shoot me that.
Great. Thank you, Judge.
Okay.
Judge, Lieutenant Cochran has informed that Mr. Shadrack Nichols is in medical. I'm not sure if the attorney representing him wants to waive his presence, or if he wants me to try to have him reset.
Could we
Mr. Rhodes?
please- Sorry, yeah, I would need to speak with my clients about waiving, so yeah, could we please have them reset?
I'll reset him, no problem.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Anything else?
Did Mr. Shelton leave?
I think he did. I saw him leave. Also, real quickie, Mr. Cho, and we'll get him on. Is that he just has that one other case?
The one indicted. I know Miss Robinson will do an excellent job. So
Yeah, we'll
it's been a long day.
I know, right? We'll get him on there and take care of it. So it's just that was just that one case, though, right?
That's my understanding. Yes, Your
Okay.
Honor.
Yeah, we'll get him back on there. Thank you, Mr. Cho. Is that it for everybody? I can stop the stream.
I think Mr. Rhodes wins. He waited all day and then couldn't
Mr. Rhodes and I actually used to go against each other in DeKalb County, so we're very familiar with each other.
Ah.
Judge,
This
I
is
have
my
one
courtroom
quick
then.
question. Should I add language explaining that the
Yeah, switch out the ankle monitor for the Talatrix if you just do
right?
that. Yeah.
Okay.
If they wanted
Thank
to
you.
change it from the ankle monitor to that. I think they're a little more sturdy. They seem to be. I mean, I looked at them and they seem.
Good night, everyone.